Maisie Williams struggled to define herself while filming Game of Thrones. When Maisie Williams was just 12 years old, she was cast in the role of Arya Stark on Game of Thrones. She was 14 when the first season of HBO debuted in 2011. From then on, Williams spent a large portion of her formative years in the spotlight, as the show turned into a pop culture phenomenon. Under normal circumstances, it can be difficult for teenagers to figure out who they are. Under those circumstances, it was particularly difficult. Reflecting on that time in her life, Williams spoke to the Sunday Times. "I knew I was lost, but I was lost for a very long time. And it made me very uncomfortable when I couldn't identify what I thought my identity was within that," the woman remarked. "Just because I think it's done, it's hard to even put myself back there and talk about how tough it was." Williams credits Game of Thrones with launching her acting career, saying that playing characters has been so enthralling. She doesn't hold any grudges against Game of Thrones, but it's understandable that someone could feel conflicted about the part the show played in a really formative time in my life. Williams found it challenging to forge an identity outside of acting as a result. Williams said, "I think rejection at that point felt so personal, so painful. It was at its worst when I also was the most out of touch with myself, not knowing your identity and that kind of thing. I would only make negative comparisons between myself and other actresses, as well as people's appearances, and any other comparisons you could possibly make to yourself." The 26-year-old Williams has since gained experience and confidence in her own skin. As she mentioned in a recent appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, she also has a fresher take on Game of Thrones. "I simply feel like I wasn't even really sentient when it was coming out. I watched the entire thing from start to finish, and I feel like I finally understand it." Williams is currently starring as World War II resistance fighter Catherine Dior in the Apple TV Plus series The New Look. Even though Arya and Catherine are both fierce, it's a long way from Game of Thrones. Wednesdays are when new episodes air.